YouTube. Hello YouTube, and I'm back. I'm back with some new workouts. You're gonna see over the next couple weeks, the workouts are a little bit different than they used to be because I'm in the middle of a challenge, and for this challenge I really wanted people to see some progress. So I've changed up my training style. I usually train more like a bro split, where it's focusing on like one muscle group every single day, which is great. It's great for muscle growth, but you like completely demolish your muscles. Now for this challenge, because when you want something to grow, what do you normally do? You train it more often. So I switched up my training. We're doing push-pull legs. I actually switched the order. We're actually doing legs, push-pull, because sometimes I sneak another leg day in there. But with a push-pull leg split, we're doing it twice a week. So what does that mean? You're training everything, all your body parts, twice a week. All right, so first exercise on push day, we're doing bench. We're going a little bit heavier today. We're aiming for about 5 to 6 reps. So you're gonna need a couple warm-up sets. I already took like one before this. So 2 to 3 warm-up sets till you get to your working set weight. And we're doing 4 sets at our working set weight, which we'll find out what that is today, but aiming for 5 to 6 reps. That last one. My goodness. Oh. Right. Next exercise. We're hitting the medial head of our shoulder because today's push day. So the greatest thing in here is we're kind of dividing up the volume that you would normally do in one chest day or one shoulder day. We're like dispersing the volume. So on a typical, I would say for muscle growth, if you're more like advanced lifter, if you're looking for muscle growth, you want to keep your set range per week around like, I do like 20 to 24. I probably do even a little bit more on shoulder day. So I aim for at least 20 working sets during a week. Now, instead of all 20 of those working sets being in one workout, now there's gonna be 10, 12 working sets in this workout, and then 10 to 12 over in this other workout, because we're training them twice a week. So next up, we're hitting some lateral raises. We're doing a combination for the first one. It's a little superset. A little bit lighter than you would normally go because it's a combo. So you're coming up in a lateral raise, you're gonna come out to the front, back out to the side, and down. That's 1 rep. So aiming for about 8-ish reps for that. Once you fatigue, I want you failing. So my rep ranges, when it says like 4 sets of 8, I want you failing around that 8th rep. So pick a weight that you can get through about 8 reps. And once you fatigue with that, then you're just gonna go right into lateral raises, keeping the same weight. And I don't even have a number for that. That's just to failure. 4 sets of this. All right, now that we're super jacked, lighting's so good. All right, coming back, we're going to a dumbbell incline press, sticking around, around 8-ish reps. I'm gonna focus here on like pausing at the bottom, especially now that I'm getting a little bit more fatigued because we're really hitting everything today. Chest, shoulders, triceps. So I don't wanna go as heavy. I already went pretty heavy on flat bench. So we're gonna come down and pause for a second. My eccentrics are always a little bit slow. As a bodybuilder, our reps are just a little bit slower. So it's always like a good 2-second countdown. But I'm gonna focus on holding the weight at the bottom, take momentum out, and push up. sticking around that 8-ish rep range. I'm going by. So next up is pec deck fly, or you can, I always choose cable over pec deck. I just do. But if you have a pec deck, it's great. I just prefer cable. So we're gonna do a flat cable fly right into close grip push-ups, because we gotta start getting those triceps involved in here. 4 sets, you're going 10 to 12 reps for the flies, whether it's pec deck or cable. And then I normally don't even count for push-ups. I do as many as I can, but aim for about 10 to 12 with those. Oh! All right, we got one more little shoulder thing, and we got something for triceps, and then I'm going to be toast. So in this workout, the way I design, since there are, 2 push days, so today's push day, it's the first one, it's a little bit more chest focused. So then when push comes back, that one's gonna be a little bit more shoulder focused. So going a little bit heavier on a shoulder press. Today we went pretty heavy on flat bench, incline, and then sprinkled some shoulders in there. So the next push day is gonna focus first on shoulders and then also sprinkling. So that's how I kind of do it. Same thing with legs. So leg days, you're hitting quads, hams, and glutes. So the first leg day is usually slightly more quad focused. You're starting with the quad exercise, like squats, and going pretty heavy. So the second time, you're gonna start with something more hamstring or glute dominant, like a hip thrust or RDLs. So that's sort of how I design these push-pull leg splits. Nothing crazy fancy here. We're just gonna be alternating back and forth between a front raise and then an upright. It's in between like an upright and like a high pull, because I pull up higher than my shoulders, because the upright usually you stop here. I kind of pull up almost like a high, it's in between an upright row and a high pull. I'm gonna call it a upright pull. No, it's a high pull. I guess it's a high pull. So alternating back and forth, you're gonna do about 8 reps each, 8 to 10. So 1 rep is both. So that's 1. And then 2, 3, all the way up to around 8 to 10. All right, we are finishing up with some cable tricep extensions. Now, for something like triceps that kind of get targeted when you're training other things like shoulders and chest, most of like those bigger muscle groups like your chest, your quads, your hamstrings, you want to aim for like 20, 24, maybe 26 working sets per week. Now something like triceps is I only tend to do about 10 to 12 working sets, because they're already getting worked in those other movements that I only do a couple isolation things. So today's little isolation is we're doing overhead. We're gonna keep the cable high because we're gonna flip around and do them just regular, but we're doing overhead tricep extension, really focusing on, I like to flick that pinky out and really target to that outside of my tricep. 8 to 10 there, aiming for about 10, and then we're gonna flip around. Generally, I can kind of keep the same weight for the second exercise. Just feel it out. You might have to drop a plate or 2, and then we're just going to flip around and do them from here. I start a little bit further away, and then as I get tired, this is kind of like a mechanical drop set. As I get tired, I move closer and I do more of like a push down. It's a little bit easier. So if you're struggling out here, take a step in, and you'll be able to get a couple more reps. All right, my whole body, everything. I think that's the bonus of doing, you know, push days or pull days. Like, it's not just my chest, it's like everything. So if you want to get really jacked or feel super jacked, or if you're looking to gain some more muscle, frequency is going to be the best name of the game. So that's why we're doing this. So if you're interested, now you missed out on my summer challenge, but if you want to hop in and see how this push-pull leg split 6 days a week works for you, join in. You can join in down below, DLBdailyapp.com. You can follow along. You just can't enter the challenge, but you can follow exactly what everyone else is doing, how I'm training. So if you enjoy this and want to see how push-pull legs works for you, come join me, DLBdailyapp.com. We're gonna get so jacked, just training more frequency.